Hi, welcome back again to Haw River Trail River Guide Series. Today we're going from Altamahaw to Shallowford. We'll start here at the bridge, shoot under there, drag our boat for a little ways, get back in the water, go to the Hub Mill Road Bridge, and then shoot to the old mill race. Then we'll zip down here to the confluence of Reedy Fork Creek, where it becomes the Haw River proper, as I like to say. Here we are at the put-in. This is the little man bridge over the mill race, and there you saw the parking. You go down these little steps here, watch your steps, some of the wood is rotten. And you'll see my boat in the distance. Just head right down there and you'll see the little footpath down to the river. And that'll be your put-in. As you can see, these rocks are a little slippery. All of them are slippery here, I guess because the water doesn't run that often. Looking back at the dam, it's about 16 feet. Don't go over that one. Turn back around, here's the road. That's 87, north out of Burlington. And you have a nice little 15-yard paddle to about right there. And then we get out.
So they took all the water out of the river for that mill. So until you get back to the other side of this mill race where they release the water back in the river, it's going to be a little bony. When I say a little bony, I mean it's not going to be a lot of paddling now, plus there's a lot of water going down the river. That ain't happening today.
So here we are, sliding in and out of the boat, just kind of crawling down the river. This is nothing incredibly difficult, but it is a little bit annoying if you came to just paddle. This is definitely a consideration for this run. I'm not sure how you could find the schedule for whether the mill was taking water or not. I'm sure it could be done, but I don't paddle this run that often, so I have no idea what that schedule is. So it'll just be about 100 yards of getting in and out of your boat like this. Nothing crazy. The rocks are very slippery here, I guess because the water is often not running fast, so they just got a little slime build up on them. So do be careful if you're getting in and out of the boat. I'm wearing my Crocs today. I guess theoretically I should be wearing a good river boot with ankle protection, because smacking your ankle on a rock is always not very fun. So here we are at the confluence of the mill race and the river. Basically the river gets its water back from this point on. So now we start our run, and this run is about 3 miles long. It's not a great run for a novice or a group with a bunch of small kids. It's a little more in line with the more adventurous paddler, relatively speaking. For the Haw River Trail, this would be my run that has the most work and the most potential hazard involved. It's also one of the shorter runs on the trail, so you're doing a lot of work for not a lot of output. So my advice would be to combine this with the section above or the section below to at least minimize some of the work, as the takeout's pretty steep, and just get more time on the river for the section you're doing. So here's the bridge at Hub Mill Road. Right after the bridge you have to make a decision. Do I go left through the old mill race at Hub Mill, or do I go right down the river? If the water's higher, you can go right without getting out of the boat. But at 2.2, which is the level today, there's really not a path on that right side. So I am the adventurous type. I'm going to go through the flume. And I've done this before, even way back when I was learning how to whitewater paddle. We come do some of these sections. So you want to kind of get in here and just keep it upright, keep it pointed straight, nothing crazy, but you do want to stay off the rock wall. And as you see, this will push you right in there. Lean your boat to the left a little bit and push while leaning to the left to keep your boat off that wall. If you do not, your boat interacts with that wall, it could try to push your right side down, thus flipping you. So anytime you're going to interact with rocks or rock walls or anything crazy, you want your boat to not interact with that and kind of be proactive. Lean out towards the rock and push. Get your boat away from it. Very important to note, you need to lean towards the obstacle, not away from it. And that's in any situation. Oftentimes in whitewater paddling, you really have no option but to interact with the rocks. And I've had situations where I've had to use the rocks to grab and brace, and it becomes much more interactive. But with a larger boat or for a novice, the easiest thing is to not interact with rocks. If you do, always lean into it, downstream. Very, very important. So you're just bobbing down the river here, big giant boulder in the middle, good place to get out and take a break if you need one. You'll notice the cow pasture on the right, no trees. This signals that the confluence is up ahead. And you'll probably go about half a mile down through here. Really pretty. Interesting note, I killed my biggest turkey to the left here up the hill many years ago. That's just a little side note. So here we are at the confluence with Reedy Fork, and I'll kind of swing it upriver so you can see it. Reedy Fork is also a very pretty river. It's about the same size as the Haw. And here we are getting a look upstream. Left is the Reedy Fork, on the right is the Haw River, where we just came from. And now I call it the Haw River proper, so to speak. And now it's doubled in size and is the Haw River that I'm used to paddling. So the next section will go from the confluence. You go through Reedy Rapid, and then you got a big island. You want to stay to the right as the track shows. And then I call this the ledges. And right there you get to the far left channel around a small island, and then there's another big island. So there's actually 3 channels there. You want to stay on the far left. Today I went on the far right, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then you go down, make a couple turns. You'll see the campground for the Shallowford Natural Area camping area. And then you have Shallowford Access, and that'll be the end of the run. So this is the first rapid coming into here. This is the Reedy Rapid. This is the confluence of Reedy. This is the first rapid you'll find. And this level 2.2 is a little bony, a little draggy. Just look for the water like we always do, and kind of bop through there. After the Reedy Rapid, we have a little straightaway, and in the foreground you can see the first island. And this is the little rapid here. It's a little ledge here with the first island. We want to end up on the river right. You can see the big channel down there. So you saw me get up in my boat. That's just to get a little vantage point, trying to see where the water was going. And just follow your way, kind of snake your way through there. It's kind of a fun challenge as the water gets lower to try to find the best route. Sometimes it involves a lot of picking and backing up and different kind of things. We just kind of slide through here. You can see the rack line, as they call it, on the island, all the pushed up wood. That was from recent floods, of course. And wherever there's an island, the river usually braids out and gets wider, making it more shallow. This is why we have a little more trouble getting through these rapids. The wider the river, the more shallow it's going to be. The shallower also the rapids. Now we're on the right channel, approaching the islands up ahead. And it's just a pretty stretch here, got a good sunny day. And we'll kind of weave our way. This looks like a cool place to go. Any of these kind of rapids, just kind of pick and choose wherever you find water. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. It's just getting through there. And as you do these runs more often, you'll find your favorite little routes. I do not do this run that often. It's been several years since I've been on this stretch. So it's kind of like rediscovering it again. Now here we are at the ledges. And this is where it gets a little trickier. trying to figure out where you're going. So dead ahead of my boat, you can already see logs across the river. Right there, dead ahead. You see that horizontal log? That's the channel I wanted to go. Then you got the middle channel. It's clear of wood, but it's very, very shallow. The rapids, you can't get through there without scraping your boat up or getting out. So I kind of fast forward this motion. This took a little doing getting through all this. Very shallow, 2.2, kind of a minimal level. Again, you can go shallower and get through there. It's just not going to be as advantageous. So at this point, I'm trying to make my decision. Do I go through that log jam right there? Now, most times, if you don't know your way and you're unsure, the best bet is to get out of the boat on one of these boulders or any safe place and scout it. I could go left and jump out on the land there and actually go look at the different channels and pick my best route. The far left channel is the best route. Today it has some logs in it. Right here, the middle channel is the safest route, no logs, but it's got a very little amount of water flowing through there. So I opt to go far right. Now, as you can see, this is the most dangerous place on the Haw River Trail in my estimation, as the potential for hazard here at higher water is much higher than anywhere else. This is where logs are going to find their way and stack up and block their way, and at high water it's going to be very hard to get out. Most of these rocks are going to be covered with water. So just keep that in mind if you want to do this section. Please don't do this one at high water for the first time, and if you're unsure of your skills. Now, as I kind of maneuver this way, in the back of my mind is the nagging words of wisdom that experience is telling me, and that is smaller channels around islands always have the potential to be choked with logs. And the reason is most of the water goes through the bigger channels and pushes out any debris or any log jams during flood stages. So this one won't get as much water as the other channels, and the logs don't get cleared out as well. And true to form, here we are at a log jam. Fortunately, the water is shallow and the log jam was low. I was able to step over it without too much work. Again, to note, at high water, this could be catastrophic, running into something like this, where you're unable to get out, very steep banks, and water really pushing through here very quickly would create an extremely dangerous situation. So again, very dangerous when you have wood covering the entire path of a river. Be careful for those. Just about over. You've got to wipe the sand out of the shoes. Keep your feet clean when you're doing this. It'll keep the inside of your boat clean and just make life better. Now, it's cold today, so that takes a little bit of work. It's about 70 degrees, but the water is not 70 degrees, and you know it right away when you have to go wading and cleaning your toes off. Here we are at the end of the channel, and I'll look back up left so you can get a look at what the main channel looks like. This is the one you want to be in. As you see, there's no tree large enough to block the entire route. Much better bet. And off down the river we go. And we'll come to a little rapid. We'll run this one on the right. On the left, you'll see the roof to the boat rack at the Haw River Camping Access. You'll see a sign on a tree there. So we'll zip under this little tree and maneuver this rapid, stay right up next to that boulder, and we're right through there. No big deal. Nice little rapid to kind of wind things out. And from here, things slow down. You'll go through a couple ripples. Everything to the left is Haw River Natural Area. And they got some nice walking trails, some areas, some camping. And here's the access on Garinger Mill Road. I slide up in there. You have a gentleman taking some photos. Unfortunately, he was not as inclined to help. I looked up and he was gone. He probably saw what was coming. So here's the fun part. This is a very steep set of stairs. Coming down wouldn't be quite as bad as going up because they have a boat chute, as you can see on the right. But going up takes a little work. I've got a decent amount of gear in my boat. It's not empty. And sometimes these are tricky. I'm at the point of no return here. Give it a little heave ho. 1, 2, 3, and oh, we're up. And there you have it, Altamahaw to Shallowford. Thanks for watching.